Aloha, everybody. How you doing? I trust all is well, and welcome to the final segment of the experience. I'm going to do a little bit of administrative stuff here, so give me about a few seconds. I just want to make sure everything's good. All right, we're good to go. So first, a few announcements, and then we'll get started. Number one is I want to thank all of you for sending prayers to Maui, especially to Lahaina. Um, I know I have immense gratitude for that, and also for the continuing of sending air purifiers to me to get them out to Lahaina. I got some over here on my side, and so I'm grateful for that. So again, grateful for the prayers, the healing energy, the supportive energy, the positive vibes you've been sending to Maui, and continue to please send to Maui and to Lahaina. And again, the air purifiers, we have enough of them right now, so I'm good to go. And again, thank you for that. Let me see here. So I'm going to tell you a quick story, and I know I probably mentioned it a few times. So back in March, I had a TBI, traumatic brain injury, and I recovered very rapidly, partially due to most of you who were sending me prayers, healing energy, positive vibration, love. You guys, all of you were amazing. The thousands of comments that I received, you guys were amazing. And then all the healers that supported me with the different modalities that came to aid me and help me and support me to heal. That also contributed to my healing process, or my rapid healing process. And because of that, what I decided to do on July 5th is to start the experience, this ongoing series that I've been doing. And you know what? I'm going to go close my sliding glass door, so give me a moment here because there's a lot of noise in the background. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. So anyway, so so on July 5th, I started the experience, this ongoing series, and I brought a lot of the healers on because I wanted to support all of them, or as many as I could, to repay them in my way, to support them and introduce their modalities to the world. And then as far as you, the community, the audience members, for all of you that sent me prayers and positive energy and love and healing energy, I wanted to repay you guys also. So this is my way of repaying all of you. And so I'm forever grateful to all of you. You guys, every one of you simply rock it. And I'm honored to be in your presence. And so, and again, as I said a little while ago, this is the final one. This is the last one. And in this one, we have a guest, Maureen Edwardson, who is an author of Your Magical Evolutionary Code Unleashed, The Science of Inner Resonance, and the originator of inner resonance technologies that allows each person to be self-empowered and connected to their ascended selves, free and clear to create from their hearts. So let me tell you a little story about Maureen. So Maureen reached out to me and offered me to support me as part of my healing process. And I accepted. And the first session I had with her was freaking amazing. I felt immediately the energy shifting within me. And I have since had several, probably more than she anticipated, but I've since had several sessions with her, and each one kept building up on the next one or the last one. And Maureen is awesome. She introduced to me a whole new alternative to not only heal, but to ascend. And that's what this segment's about, ascension. So you can keep healing and healing and healing, and you'll be stuck there just to heal. But when you start ascending or get into the ascension process, then you know you're really moving forward in life. And that's what Maureen did for me. So without further ado, Maureen, welcome and how are you?
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for those kind words. Yeah, it's been really fun watching, Rocket Alfredo just oh, really, really drink everything in from everyone. It's so receptive and so full of gratitude. So I'm very grateful, for your kind words and for having this conversation with me today so other people can also understand what's available for them within their own selves because everything comes from within. So I'm grateful to be here and thank you and welcome everybody.
Awesome. So Maureen, what, okay, and I don't know if you're going to go through, put us through a process today or not. It doesn't matter. But
I'd
how
love
did,
to.
how did you come about with this process? What inspired? Okay, let me reword that. Obviously, we go through life, and like, or at least I do, and then as you get inspired with wisdom, you come up with new ideas or technologies, as the word you use. How did you arrive at this?
Well, you know something? People ask me that, and basically, I don't have a clue. However, and I've been calling myself for years my middle name, and it's in my book also. For many years, I've been saying that my middle name is I just happen to be there.
Oh,
Yeah, and so I've just, I guess, followed my curiosity, and who knew that I had the ancient wisdom within me that I brought into this lifetime with this exact purpose. I had no clue, and I was where was I? I was in my late 30s, before I woke up in my 40s. And so people tell me that my hand is my credential, and that line here apparently means that I've mastered the mind in other lifetimes. And you can't imagine how uproarious and hilarious that was for me. I'm afraid I'm surprised that I even have a butt left because I was laughing my butt off. And no, 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 you got the wrong person. So basically, I followed my nose, followed my curiosity, and I wasn't getting the healing that I needed because what came up was some abuse from my childhood. And I knew that I needed help, and I knew that it must affect every part of my life. And so I went in search of help, but nothing was helping me. And everybody else was going to these workshops. I became a workshop junkie, and nothing was working. Everybody else was going away happy and all healed. I went, I was even like a failure at getting better, it would seem. So in any case, that was all to a plan, a greater plan, because having that, being pushed into that wider range of different ways of being. Who knew? I did not know that I had a gift of being able to take, the essence and the principles and the concepts of healing and of then following my curiosity about science and unified field, Bruce Lipton, cellular biology, all these things gave me a bigger picture that apparently I had the gift to be able to connect in. I'm a dot connector. And so it's been really quite the journey that I've just been guided because it is within me, and this is my gift. This is my purpose to be here, and then to teach other people how to help others because it's so simple. It's so simple, but there's so much embedded in it that it's been evolving over all of these years and integrating so many pieces of our possibilities and how to wake ourselves up. So yes, and we know, well, what I learned anyway is that the level for the level of complexity that's built into any particular system, there is a corresponding simplicity of access to access.
yes, I totally agree.
Yeah. So this is the ultimate in simplicity, and it is all encompassing of the activating that part of you that does know everything. That is your quantum superconscious self. And once you make the agreements and create the conditions, then you just press the button and you get to go on virtual holiday while it's all happening. How sweet is that?
So what's interesting is with my clients and my audience members, the thing that I stress is humanity has a tendency to make things difficult when in reality it's really simple. So my question to you is, why does humanity make things difficult?
Well, because what do they say? Complexity is of the ego, simplicity is of the divine. And I think just because we've forgotten who we are, and that isn't that the big teaching from all the spiritual leaders, and what we're waking up to is that we've lost our way, we've got all confused, and just basically we've forgotten the truth of who we really are, which is spirit. We're breathing all that in all the time. And people told me, when I went looking for all these answers, oh, you have the answers within. I went, well, thanks a lot. Like, how do I find that? And the cosmic joke is, when I finally found a way to access all the everything that is, there was nothing to know. and because we're breathing it in all the time, so we embody everything. Everything is within us because we're breathing it in. It's who we are. And so when we clear everything that's not who we are, all the static, all the resistance, then we have clear access to our greatest selves, which allows us, to rise in our frequency, to really align into this next level of activation of just being love, just being ourselves. And that is that a definition of ascension? I believe so.
So you just took the words right out of my mouth. What you just described is ascension. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate you. When did you say, you know what, I got to get this out to the world? When did you decide to do this?
Well, it's always been my nature to share. And this happens to be my 33rd year of doing this.
Wow.
Yeah. And 33 is my magic number, and 333. So yeah, and it's really interesting because I've been doing this for all this time as my main and sole source of income, but nobody got it. So that's kind of amazing. And that's my soul. I never did any other job or work. And so I've got a lot of PhDs in survival, called life. And now I thrive because I trust at a very deep level that everything is always provided as and when we need it. And that's another teaching from Mary Magdalene, if you will, that, consider the lily in the field. It's the sun shines, the rain nurtures, and it grows and it smells sweet. And yeah, so we just have to be ourselves, much like Michelangelo. He said, yeah, David was already in the marble. All I did was keep the vision, and then my hands did, their thing to chip away everything that wasn't David, so he could just then rise and shine and be evident of inspiration and beauty and awe for the world. So that's who we are. We are magnificent in our nature, and just by being the love, we don't have to have a great grand purpose, but we are, our grandest selves by being the love and being those gifts of spirit, being the compassion, the tolerance, the joy, the love, the happiness for no reason, the generosity, and coming to these events that the worlds are providing us ample opportunity right now to really come to that support of others, and in so many different countries, in so many different ways, and most particularly relevant here in Maui. So we are waking up. We're getting the opportunity for compassion.
I love that. So when a person, let's say a person comes to you for the first time and they go through this IRT process, what is their difference going to be once it first, from when start to finish, once they're done, what are they going to feel? How are they going to look at life?
Well, everybody's a little bit different. And so, of course, keeping it simple, is it fear or love? And so anything that has no relevance, I know fear fear does guide the way. There's no wrong emotions. There's no bad way to feel. It's just that if you're hanging on to it and there's no longer any need and there's no purpose to it, it just clogs up, your filters. And so IRT allows people to unclog their filters and show up in a different way of perception and of perceiving their situations or their life or the other. So for example, when I've worked with couples, I take them through a protocol right away. And there's just going, when they sit down, they sit on the outer edges of the couch, and and so I take them through a protocol, and then I'll say, okay, so just turn and say, because then they're clearing, what is all the angst and maybe what's in the way. And then they turn to each other, and I say, okay, so what do you want to say, to each other, because now you're receptive, you can hear what the other person has to say, like nonviolent communication, and, you just be present for each other and just receive that communication of what wants to be shared. And every time each person turns to their loved one and says, oh, I love you so much. I'm just remembering our first date and what we did and how much I love you, all the things about you that attracted me. So there they are, sometimes just in one session, feeling and remembering that love. And for other people, it's a whole different level of clarity, but we see with different lenses. We see through the lens of love and compassion. There was another person who was so angry at his mom, and she, she put him under all kinds of cult abuse because she really thought that was the best way to save his soul. Like she was enculturated, in that. And he was so angry. He was so traumatized, and his wife dragged him to a session with me, and, oh, this is all so stupid, it was stupid. And so I just kept saying, okay, just say yes, to each question. Like, just play a game with me. Right. And he was every step. He got angry and stuff. I'm stupid. And so finally, and he was a helper of the world, by the way, but he got so sick that he couldn't do his work anymore. And so what happened for him is, it's just completely astounding to me. So, fighting him every way, or he's fighting me every way along the protocol. It's just the protocol is a formula of questions that helps activate the part of you beyond your conscious mind and beyond your body's need to act anything out, which is also really beautiful. So it's effortless from that point of view. There's a part of you that already knows this and is ready. And whoever shows up, it's because they're ready at some level for some level of healing. And but I've never seen anyone fight against it so hard and ever. And so at the end, he was quiet. And I asked, well, how are you feeling? He said, oh, I love my mother so much. She did so much. Everything she did was because she loved me so much. And while it wasn't right, it wasn't good, and it was traumatizing for me, I have so much compassion for her, and I understand. So he was able to let go of all that hatred and all that anger and all that fear, even though he was fighting every step of the way. I find that remarkable.
Awesome. And for my audience, what you're hearing now is how powerful or insightful or wisdom-filled Maureen is. Maureen, so I know the first time I did the process with you, the IRT, I distinctly remember when I went through it, you asked me, how do you feel? At the end, I said, I feel freedom. And to this day, I still remember that moment because I felt freedom. It was simply amazing. My question to you is, so I've done several with you since then. Does one build upon the other?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It builds upon, because, you have your end result chemistry of wholeness, including the frequency of freedom embedded into a switch on your body, which, as we get opportunity to do about 10 minutes with your audience, which would be wonderful. Then there's end result and chemical memory in the brain, works through associative conditions. So then you choose a place, either your heart or tongue in the roof of your mouth or finger and thumb, doesn't matter. And then your brain is associating that with the chemistry and the better feeling of freedom or whatever it is, in that moment. And so then you have that tool that you can activate that chemistry and that frequency for yourself every day, before you sleep, when you wake up, anytime you get triggered. It's a whole system that instantly goes poof, but whatever got triggered, then whatever that was, plus opportunity for anything and everything in your entire matrix, because everything exists simultaneously from all parts of your memory, all lifetimes, all realities. It's all here now in your quantum self, because spirit has no time. And so everything is here, it's available, it has the same frequency, it has the same, let's say, anger. You could be, having, multiple angry experiences through many lifetimes, and so many experiences, not even your own, but observing others. And we take that in. And and so all of that is buildup, but it's the same chemistry, it's the same frequency, as I said. And so what happens is then your touch breath is a signal to your brain to click to activate that chemistry into your body and have that frequency in your field of instantly neutralizing what's no longer relevant. And it's getting triggered because it wants to be freed up. And so the more you do that self-help with your own self, it's a self-help technique. I don't do anything to you or for you. I created the formula so that, I guide people through it. And even once, however, we also know where two similar frequencies come together in two, waves of energy, that creates amplification. So whenever we work with another facilitator of any kind, and all the other beautiful work that you do, Alfredo, people get the benefit of that field together with their intention, their choices that they're making together with you, because we're all part of each other. And so, maybe one and one make 10 million, who knows, but we are amplified in the presence of each other with a similar heart. So we then step into that oneness and that connection that we all have, which is very precious. And, at the end of the day, I believe, what some have said, all we really want is to love and be loved. We just want to be seen and acknowledged and acknowledged in other. And so we see the heart. That's what the namaste is, isn't it? The God in me sees the God in you.
Right. So now I'm going to ask you a question, and this is going to be interesting. So you're one of the last healers that I saw or connected with. And so I've always believed that the foundation for everything is self-love. Because of the recent traumas that I just went through, trauma has now become major to me. Healing trauma, evolving from the trauma, and the vibration that you emanate. Did that all contribute to feeling the freedom through your IRT, or is that all a waste of time and I would have felt the freedom with IRT anyway?
Nothing is ever a waste of time.
Okay.
because all is well. Everything is always perfectly perfect. And so what we go through is meant to happen. You can believe that or not. However, the thing is, it has happened. And so using that as an opportunity to bring yourself into that next level of self-love and freedom. And everybody's at a different stage with different kinds of experiences. And yet everybody has the spontaneous instant opportunity as they wake up and they allow the choice. And even the people that say, well, I don't know about this IRT business, but hey, I'm curious and my life's great. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I just have this perfect life. Aha. So I thought, what's going to happen? Nothing. However, more happened for those kind of people because there's less resistance in their field. So more of their greater selves was able to express more of their gifts, more of their generosity, more of their sharing and having meaningful, fulfilling lives. And making a difference in the world happens on the next level. So it's pretty amazing. I thought people would have to be like, have all this, stuff to clear, but people even that are relatively injury free, if you will, trauma free in this life. Somehow they've had this at least perception of having, a really good experience. And everything runs on perception anyway. So whatever is lurking beneath, you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to know. Everything gets addressed and neutralized or transformed, or whatever word you want to use, because everything, it doesn't have to come through your mind. It doesn't have to come, your conscious mind doesn't have to come through your body. Those are the limiting factors to slow things down. So when you know that you can address everything in your field, because that's where the signals come, the body is just like a radio receiving the signals and plays it out. So, it just allows us to delegate up into the super conscious quantum higher self, that knows it all, that has access to it instantly beyond time. So it's a fast track. It's not a bypass. And only what's no longer relevant or necessary is what gets addressed, so that anything that you do need to understand and know and work with, if you will, and get insight and wisdom from, that doesn't automatically show up, then you get all these opportunities. Then you get attracted to, oh, I think I'll go and do this meditation over there. Oh, that's an interesting process and a technique. I think I'll try that out. And so it leaves us, in the moment present to receive what our journey wants to share with us, what we want to create, because we're all different and we all have a different path. So it just clears the way for each person's own path and accelerates it, because, as I say, the resistance and the static, when it's quietened, we can then hear what's next.
I'm going to share a couple of comments from our audience members, and then are you willing to put us through one of your processes?
I would love to. Yeah, I'd be really happy to do that.
Okay, hold on for a second. Here's one. Forever grateful for you, Alfredo. Thank you, Catherine. I greatly appreciate that. Charlotte says, wow, 33 years.
Yeah. Hi, Charlotte.
So, okay, so let's do it, Maureen.
All right. So it may underwhelm you. So just play along and allow, because this is the hallmark of IRT. It's effortless transformation. And so just taking a moment to breathe and remembering that's the breath of life. It's a breath of higher consciousness. It's a breath of spirit. It's a breath of the all of everything that is source. So as we're breathing in our portion of that greater field of oneness, if you will, that greater field of love, just remembering that this is who you are. And as you're breathing in and remembering the truth of who you are as spirit having a physical experience, focus on the spiritual aspect that commands our reality. If you have a belief in a spiritual team or angels or guides, it's an opportunity to say yes and thank you, keeping it simple.
Yes and thank you.
And so then we go and notice our breath as we pay attention to our body, noticing where your body is touching the world around you. And just noticing where the breath goes in and out of your nose or your mouth and moves your tummy up and down. And noticing in that your body is like a miracle machine. It's an alchemical machine that is an instant responder to consciousness and for what's in your field. And so now we're just going to switch on all the programs, all the pathways that have been diminished or sometimes shut down, never to fully really reopen, because we tend to be in protection because of the past circumstances. So now we want to switch it on so you have full access to your greatest potential here now, that is in your greatest good right now. So the operative words are, just play along with me. We're like supercomputers. We're like a quantum supercomputer. So we're just going to switch on all the programs and pathways that know what to do for us. All right. So the operative words are switch on body. So let's all say it together. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Switch
Switch
on,
body.
switch on body.
Oh, I heard you, Charlotte. And so now we get to be at the command center, whether we believe it or not. So we're activating our power source. We're switching on our machine. Yeah, Charlotte switched on big time. Yay! And so now we're going to choose, because guess what? We are the commanders. Unified field physics tells us that we are the commanders of our personal universe. So who knew we had a choice in all of this craziness? But we do. And so now we're allowing ourselves to choose what freedom and what creation. So sometimes when you're new, it's good because you know what's, you're not feeling as expansive as you'd like to feel. So you might say, okay, I'm choosing freedom of these circumstances in my life, or feeling that fear, or being bogged down, or just feeling stuck without even knowing why. That's usually a good one. And or you can, choose, I'm choosing love, I'm choosing freedom, I'm choosing my gifts, I'm choosing this next level of passionate service, really abundantly helping others in so many different ways that makes my life so fulfilled and meaningful, whatever it is. And knowing that as we shift everything that's in the way of that, those other things and more of what we can't even imagine now emerge and unfold and show up. So now, these questions are designed for a yes. So you're saying yes to your higher self. So, yeah, Catherine, you're just already there because there is no time. Beautiful. So now, are you choosing to allow any and all unresolved issues that no longer serve any useful positive purpose, no longer relevant, to be addressed and shifted right here, right now? Yes.
Yes.
And are you choosing to allow all the ways that any of these unresolved issues are acting out through your body, or have been acting out through your body, through your emotions, through your mind, through your spirit, feeling a little bit contracted, not as spirited as you like to feel, as connected as you like to feel. Sometimes that affects us financially. Always relationships of every kind, because everything's related to everything else. We're all part of each other. Isn't this cool? Exactly. Yes. And so now we're addressing all levels of memory, and just quickly going through them as I break down the fields of memory. You may have your own way. And so that would be your whole life, going all the way back to when you were born, all the time in utero, back to conception. All of the ancestral memory of your DNA is also in a field all around you. And then also all your soul memory, past, present, concurrent parallel realities, future, all collapse into this fresh moment, because that's all we ever have, the power of now. So here we are in this present moment, free and clear, because already it's simultaneously happening. And we have greater space, greater grace, greater ability to choose again in a different level of freedom and alignment. And then we're opening up to the memory field of the planet, because we're breathing recycled atmosphere. And so we're breathing, according to scientists, holographic particles of memory from the whole history of the planet. Like, wow, we are physically one just by breathing. And that is so super cool. And so now we are opening up to the galactic, whatever that might mean for each of you. And then we're opening, to that grander cosmic field of wholeness, which is only love, which is the truth of us. And so now we're choosing to allow all of our multidimensional selves to be coherently realigned, excuse me, with that next level of expression of our greatest, most ascended, magnificent selves, full of love, full of happiness for no reason, expressing abundance and sharing and just having a good life, feeling really happy. So, are you choosing to allow all this to happen in the safest and most appropriate way for you and all concerned at all times?
Yes.
And so, are you choosing to allow greater ease and gentleness than what we're used to in this struggle zone?
Yes.
Excuse me, something's choking me up. Water's going down my other throat. And so now, are you choosing effortless grace for instant and permanent shift of what's no longer relevant and that's really ready at this time?
Yes.
Excellent. And so, are you choosing to allow what's not quite ready to have the divine perfection that the journey unfolds, as the journey unfolds, that everything, having a deeper trust that all is well and that everything is unfolding in its own time, in its own way. And as with this new tool, you'll be able to speed it up and make it more fluid and easier and gentler. Yeah, we're up for some of that these days, that's for sure. And so now, are you choosing to allow the part of you that's open to something different being possible, to be in a different way than what we're conditioned or programmed for, to also be in charge?
Yes.
Yeah, and are you allowing the part of you that's really ready to be your ascended, magnificent self, full of love, full of compassion and tolerance and abundance and ability to share where you feel guided and aligned? Yes. And so now, are you allowing that part of you that knows how the heck to go do all that, the permission for allowing that to happen in that great mystery beyond your conscious mind's need to figure it out in this moment and beyond your body's need to act anything out? So we just get to go and breathe in and out of our heart centers and just relax somewhere or have a little nap. I know it's dinner time for some. And just, just allow yourself to be present because there's nothing more to do at the conscious level. There's everything to allow for the quantum superconscious higher self and all of your guides and angels. And that happens in a quantum instant, in the twinkling of an eye, in a poof. And yet, we're also traveling through time and we love experience. So let's just enjoy just breathing in and out of our heart centers, just with a lovely, peaceful experience. Or maybe you're a dancing fool and want to imagine dancing. That's all very beautiful and joyful. There's no right or wrong way. And because basically it's already happened, as you're listening out there or just rocking out or whatever you're doing, I would invite you to notice how you're feeling. So anybody want to put how they're feeling in the chat? This happens very quickly. People go very deep, very fast. It's very profound. It allows all the different parts of who you are to move into a new level of balance, of harmony, of coherent alignment with your greatest self in this chemistry of wholeness on a whole new level. Beautiful. Feeling happy. Charlotte singing again in her happy place. Totally love it. So now, as you're noticing that, being present with that, back in, oh, hi, Cheryl. Just go back to your breath and breathing in and out of your heart space while you're feeling and noticing the happiness and the joyful song and your happy place, feeling really peaceful. Whatever it is that you're feeling, those of you that may be there and not speaking, or those of you in the replay, this is a gift that keeps on giving. So, as you are breathing in and out with awareness of your heart and your new levels of happiness and wholeness and frequency of freedom to be more of yourself than ever before, comfortable in your own skin, present, as we enter Peace Week, the week of 9/11, International Peace Week, feeling peaceful is precious. So, finding a spot to touch, whether it's your heart or tongue on the roof of your mouth or finger and thumb or all three, doesn't matter. Something that you can do no matter where you are, what's going on, who you're with. So, sometimes a couple are good. So, you have one or both. And as you notice the touch, at the same time, you're noticing the feeling of happiness and peaceful, uh, joyful song and presence, feeling this chemistry, this frequency, and breathing in and out of your heart center 360. This is the chemistry and the frequency of ascension, of your greatest true self, which is love, which is joy to the world, unconditionally. And just marinating all this together, simultaneously aware. And I would invite you into 5 deeper breaths, which is a program, a new program. So breathing in while you're touching your spot, wherever it is. And breathing out, just let your hand drop or your tongue drop. The next in breath, touch again. And breathing out, letting go. And 3 more times on your own rhythm. So here we are in our newly ascended self, full of the frequencies of joy and love and compassion and wholeness and allowing tolerance, all these good things. And notice that you can have this now, you have this tool already programmed for one touch and one breath. It's the one touch, one breath program because there is no time in the field of that level. And you can do 3, you can do 5. I like 3, bippity boppity boo. Or you can do 500, doesn't matter. Each time that you do this, you may feel the call to do more or less. So being in the moment, you'll know what you need. And before sleeping is the primary time when you wake up. You just get into a new rhythm of life, and you don't have to have anything. You don't have to think anything. You don't have to say anything. Everything's embodied. Everything is is in that end result chemistry of wholeness. And every time you do that, it's like giving yourself a whole protocol, a whole session, is the end result. Anytime you get triggered, it allows you to clear whatever was underneath the trigger, as well as the angst that the trigger caused, or the fear or the anger, whatever it is. And then if you need insight about what that was about, it comes to you. And if you don't, well, then it doesn't matter anymore. that is the biggest thing that people say to me when I ask them how they are. Well, or check into an issue that they came in with. Well, it doesn't matter. It has no consequence anymore. And occasionally people say, well, it never did really matter. Because they forget. So that's it. That's all, folks. Oh, and a way to build on, that frequency and that chemistry is to, when you see a beautiful rose, or, you're just surfing one day and you just have the perfect wave, just add that in, or you hug a friend, or you sing a happy song and you just feel so peaceful, whatever it is, just add that in with a single breath and a touch. And that way you're always building on the joy, you're building on the strength of the truth of who you are as spirit.
Maureen, that was probably, and I've done several IRTs with you. That was probably the most powerful one that I've gone through with you.
Wow, thank you. Well, we
And
have the presence of everyone with us.
that's true. So thank you for being you. So I have a question for you. How can I support you?
Oh, you already do support me in so many different ways. You can support me by helping people with IRT. That is my ultimate support. And, congratulations to you for being a facilitator on Practicum from this past weekend, which was a really joyful, fun experience. And that's the whole thing, people can clear deep, deep trauma that's very painful without having to feel it, think it, or re-experience on any level. And then whatever is left over is easier to address in good, positive ways. And so, yeah, so the more you experience, the more you realize the gift that keeps on giving. And then, of course, bringing in all of your other ways that you are such a beautiful gift to humanity already with. I love the integration of everything, because we all have our own ways and our own gifts, and IRT would appear to be a catalyst for them all to create faster, more efficient ways of getting to a good place in a good way, and freedom. Yeah, freedom. So yeah, that would be how you could support me.
Awesome. And I'm there for you. So for those that are going to be listening to the recording, and even those that are listening to live right now, can they facilitate this to themselves, or do they have to have a facilitator do it?
Well, they have the whole protocol on the recording, so they can listen to the recording over and over again. And they also have their touch breath that has been self-embedded through the opportunity that IRT guides people through. However, where two or three are gathered, more empowerment can happen. So I would suggest that anybody's listening to this that want more, that dial up Diaz and get a session.
Thank you. Any final thoughts or comments for our audience?
Oh, I just want to say, oh, you're smelling the roses. Yeah. My favorite rose is the wild rose. It's just so fragrant. And I just want to thank those of you that were able to show up, and those of you that are watching the replay. And especially you, dearest Alfredo, you have such a gratitude, such a beautiful heart of sharing. And, this is what the world needs more of. And so I'm grateful to be part of your life and part of traveling the journey with you. I think we're going to have lots of fun in lots of places. And in the meantime, everybody has their own way and their own people that they're attracted to. And yeah, if anybody, wants to contact me, that's all good too. My website is maureenedwardson.com, where you can also find out more about, you go take a deep dive into more information, more story, more opportunities. And in the tab where it says gifts for you on the far right hand side of the menu on my website, maureenedwardson.com, There are other, freebies there and other presentations with even more information, and they all have experience. There is, yeah, thank you, Cheryl. Lovely to have your beautiful energy here too. And there's a 12 and a half minute little video that somebody surprised me with. And so I put that up there from his YouTube. And yeah, there we go. Oh, thank you, Charlotte. So there's my website with any kind of contact. And if you have any questions, that want to go deeper, I'm happy to be of service and to share unconditionally. I love this work. I love who I am. And I loved being able to support each of us in ascending to our greatest selves and our greatest gifts. We're really needed to show up right now. So many disasters, so much at odds as everything appears to break down. But we know in that breakdown, there is breakthrough. And we are here to be midwives of the breakthrough.
Absolutely. Maureen, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being who you are. And thank you for being a joyous blessing in our life. I'm so forever grateful.
Likewise, thank you too, brother.
And for the audience, again, this is the final segment of the experience. It's been going on for about 10 weeks. I'm immense gratitude to all of you for have joined me, the thousands that have joined me since July 5th up until today. Listen to Maureen. She's awesome. And share this recording with everybody. I thank you all for your support, assistance, and guidance. Love and energy and blessings. So forever grateful. Mahalo kia kua.
Mahalo indeed. And share. This is something that even if people go, I don't know, I didn't get that, their subconscious got it and is already at work. It's like a Trojan horse. It goes right to the center of your heart, and all heaven breaks loose.
Awesome. Have a great one, everybody.
Yeah. Good night. Much love.